Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm dear darling. I shall see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhallow today. Well, we'll be relaxing as per usual. New week, new me. That's not a thing people say, unless they're really inventing themselves on a very frequent basis. If you're following in the anthology or whatever's going on with me and my phone, support have not replied to me. So after this, I'm going to send her just a follow-up email, just being like, hey. It's a very strange situation, because from my perspective, I was just like, oh, they sent me wrong phone, that's fine, I'll return it. Oh, hold on, we'll get into this. Hello everyone, and around Fawnhallow at 6:10 PM on Monday, August 4th, 2025. From my perspective, it'd just be like, okay, super simple. They sent me wrong phone, I will return this new phone, you know, using whatever process they want, and then they'll just dispatch to me the actual phone. But if you haven't been checking in, which I don't blame you for not checking in, because it's not the most interesting thing. Excuse me. If you haven't been checking in, essentially that they responded being like, okay, we can issue you a refund. And I responded being like, hey, I don't want a refund, I just want the phone. Like, I bought the phone at a price, and the sale literally ends tomorrow at midnight. So if I'm not unable to buy it, if I'm unable to get a response to like rebuy it tomorrow, then it's going to be like, well, what am I going to do? The biggest problem is the fact that I used like a voucher to get money off, and it's a voucher which I have tried again to use, does not work. So I'm just like, well, what am I going to do? I'm just gonna not have my new phone, I suppose, for the price, and I'm just gonna have a case, which is like super weird, I think. There's not really a lot I can do about it at the moment, except for keep chasing them and being like, hey, don't forget about me, sale literally ends tomorrow, what am I gonna do? Like, I very much feel like I am that, you know, that customer, you know, they often say like Karens or whatever, but I'm like, you know, I think it's disrespectful to actually all the nice Karens out there, you know. But I do feel like I'm just like being that guy, you know, like, hey, just checking in. Have you done anything about this? Hey, don't forget about me. Hey, you know. It's like I almost feel like I'm being entitled in a certain degree. But I suppose at the end of the day, it's not really like entitlement per se. It's more so like, this is literally just expecting it to be as it is, isn't it? Oh, why am I not sitting down as well? Sorry, I'm on my phone. Am I playing a bit of Uma Musume at the same time? Yes. But it's sort of just like, well, this is just like, I expected it to be the standard, to be standard. Just like, buy phone, receive phone. And now it's sort of straying away from that. Through no fault of my own. So like, well, what am I going to do about it? And the answer is, I can't really do anything about it. I'm just sort of sitting here just awaiting something to happen, essentially. Which don't feel great, I will say. I mean, it's not like the worst thing in the world, but it is a bit like meh. So yeah, I'm not really sure what else I can do about it at this point. I think so I would just wait for things to sort of like resolve itself somehow, in some ambiguous way. I'm gonna have to believe that it would just be fine. But yeah, I don't know, like, there's a happy medium, obviously, to have between being, too aggressively, you know, like, too aggressively, like, entitled, right? And I feel like, probably, I'm not alone, but many people who are probably too self-conscious about this sort of thing end up being like, oh yeah, I'm not going to, like, say anything, just in case. I end up like upsetting the status quo, you know, they're just doing their job. True, they are just doing their job, but you know, at a certain point you got to be like, hey, come on, it's not it, right? It's not like this is the only existence that things should be. things kind of gotta make sense too. Yeah, so I'm very much at a point where it's just like, well, what can I do at this point? The answer is like, I've literally got a day left. Like, I could try and get another voucher again. Ask my friend again for another voucher, being like, hey, they literally sent me the wrong phone. Do you think you could try it again? So at the very least, if they're just like, hey, we got you your phone again or something, then I could be like, well, it doesn't really matter at this point. Give me the refund. You know, that's what you told me, so that's what I expected to get. So I bought another phone. Some of it, like, maybe I won't get back. Like the Amex one, I'm not sure how it's gonna work because the Amex one is a rebate, so I don't know if it gets uncharged on my phone. Then it's like, how does that work? I don't know. Like, I seem like being overly defensive just in case I'm like someone who goes, oh, you know what? I'm just gonna keep the phone again. But I'm like, I literally, it's a worse phone than what I ordered. Why would I overpay for the phone? Like, the Pixel 7 must be like £600 or something at this moment, right? Why would I be happy with paying £900 for a worse phone? So yeah, I feel like I am being very insistent. I feel like I'm being one who's just like, oh, you know, come on, what are you doing? You know, complaining. Well, I'm the one complaining. But it's also like at the same time, it's kind of justified in a sense. Like, I don't know why, like, they can't just give me a straight answer. Just be like, hey, you know, dear darling, yes, sorry, we cannot give you the phone. You have to do a refund. You have to rebuy it. And I'm like, okay, fine. Well, what am I going to do about my discount code? And they're like, we're checking it. I'm like, okay, well, fine. Can you just like, I've literally a day in the sale. What's going to happen when the sale passes? Well, I'm obviously not going to buy the phone. It just kind of is annoying all the way around. The worst case scenario, again, the worst case scenario is like, I get no response, I don't get the phone, and then I'm like, alright, we'll have to wait till the next sale. That would suck. The second worst scenario would just be a lot of faff. Where it'd be like, okay, but if they do respond, I do have to buy the phone again, and I can't do the voucher. Well, actually, no, that's not. The worst scenario where I still end up with a phone, I think, would be I do it, they tell me I have to rebuy the phone or whatever. So I rebuy the phone, I somehow get like a voucher discount, which actually means I would buy the phone again. But then they refund the previous one, and then Amex undo my rebate or something. It's sort of just like, what am I going to do at that point then? Then I'd have to go to Amex support and be like, hey, you know, this is Google's fault. You know, you shouldn't have undone my rebate. I had like a second purchase on there. Please give me back my £75 credit or something. It's just like, it's just so much hassle for stuff which I didn't do. Which I understand now. Why, from a customer service level, when bad things happen, but just like, hey, you know, you have all this free stuff. Because this is really annoying. Because it's, you know, I'm going to say it. I'm going to be a churn customer at some point, Google. Well, not really. I'm just going to be a customer who doesn't buy now, I suppose. Still lost revenue. That's right. I'm threatening where it hurts capitalism the most. The bottom line. So I'm just like replugging my phone. I had it plugged in. Sorry, not my phone, my mouse. Because I had it plugged in while I was charging. And that's where it hurts most. Maybe. Probably not. Probably I'm quite an insignificant customer in the sense that I'm just one customer, right? But let's see. Amex rebate chargeback. What about that? Amex offer rebate refund. What does that mean? Let's have a look at this. If I make a return and the statement credits reverse, am I still eligible for Amex offer? Reserve right to reverse a statement credit or rewards. If a credit has been reversed and the offer is not expired, you can still take advantage of the offer if you make another qualifying transaction and meet the offer terms. That I can already see that being incredibly annoying. Well, I had to go for Amex support and be like, hey, this is Google's fault. Give me my money. It's just tiring, you know. At the very least, I hope I'm not going for an AI chatbot or something. If they haven't forgotten about me. The other thing which I found interesting is because I requested a conversation and I also opened a ticket. I opened a ticket first and then, well, I mean, they opened a ticket for me first and then requested a conversation transcript. Any follow-up was from the conversation transcript. And I was like, well, What am I meant to do about that, huh? Anyway. What about... I don't know if anyone's going to see this now, but it's like... I don't know. I feel like I'm trying to toe over the line between being annoyed on being an annoying customer and being a justified customer. Again, I've only got 1 day left on the sale. I don't think we're going to be generous enough to be like, oh, you know, no, the sale's expired, sorry, you can't buy it for that price anymore. I'm like, literally not even my fault, literally your fault. Sorry, I'm just venting. This is my soapbox for venting. I don't mean to make things so negative. I'm just like not exactly sure. But lack of communication, that's what I'm just like, what's going on here? Tell me what's going to happen. Oh yeah, I also have D&D I suppose later today, but that should be fine because I think a lot of it is not going to be me doing things. I think it's going to be them discussing things. I'm also not sure what they're going to do next, to be honest. If they get to a certain point, I know what they'll do next. If they do something in particular, that will also work, but apart from that, I don't know. I'm also not sure how to get combat in here at any point now. It's sort of like they've had like 4 previous combat chances for encounters. To be fair, one of them was like unlikely. It would have been possible, but they had to make some things work, and some dice rolls had to go in or against their favour. But the previous 3, they've all like basically charisma'd the way out of a fight, and I'm like, okay, well, I mean, I'm not going to force a fight if it doesn't make sense for it to be there. This is not a, what are they called? It's not a canon moment where it's like it has to be like this. It's more so just like, this would make sense for a fight if things happened. But yeah. What else to say about it? I don't know really. It's sort of just like, at what point am I going to be an entitled customer? I don't want to be an entitled customer. But literally it's like 1 day, you know? What happens if I purchase it and I receive the item after the sales, when I'm going to be like, what? I'm not going to be able to take advantage of sale prices because you messed up? You can't just do that, you know? I might be overthinking this something, because I feel like if I was in Google as the company's standpoint, customer service, be like, oh, you know, they're upset, you know, just at the bare minimum, give them what they wanted, like initially, and then at worst, then you can throw in compensation or whatever. It's, I don't know, kind of reminds me of the Smarty Pants presentation of like the white woman email or something, I can't remember. What is her name? White lady email, Smarty Pants, the one who did, like, Alexis, that's it. How to email like a white lady. Did a lot of back and forth emails to get her like a refund on her ticket to some stored prices or something. What should I draw to me? Should I represent the situation? That's a good question, I don't know. I'll just draw some arrows going back and forth. And I'll put waiting. That's a tagline. It's gonna make no sense. I was like, I don't know. But there's a hard deadline limit. Where on earth did I put my Joy-Cons? There's a hard deadline limit. And if it doesn't like get met, then it's like, what am I gonna do? Well, right. Nothing at that point. I'm gonna be phoneless. Not gonna be phoneless, I'm gonna be new phoneless. In which case then I'll be like, okay, well now I need to actually buy the screen protector for my current phone rather than the next phone. Because that case and new phone are currently sitting in my drawer, being unused because I can't use them. I didn't have this weekend to set them up, so I had to start using them next weekend. It's like, look at this. Look what you've done. Simple mistake, cascading consequences. No, I'm joking. I'm being very melodramatic now. Now I'm being entitled, probably. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it just feels weird because I'm never really someone who's like raised complaints before. Not in general, but like to like a store or something, like didn't get the item I ordered, etc, etc. Like I've done refunds, but this is the first time where I'm like actually being like, hey, come on. maybe it's a sign of growth, maybe it's a sign of diminishing, of regression, that's the word, not recession. I don't know, kind of reminds me of ones of delivery. People do that one very often, where it's just like, oh, there's like no food, you can take a picture, send it to delivery, and they'll give you like some credits back or something, or you can report it being late, I don't know. That stuff I never do, because I'm just like, whatever. But this is big money, I suppose. I mean, I guess a delivery one would be it if you did it very often, to be fair. Or any sort of Uber Eats delivery app. I don't know. I'm not really like looking for a reason to complain or something, but this is like a big one. Anyway, I guess I also need to not draft. I need to print out this return stuff and organise this return. Don't know what I'm gonna, how or when I'm gonna do it, but we'll figure it out afterwards. Otherwise, I think I'll round this episode off here. So if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope to see each other again, but for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye bye for now.